you can draw this in Procreate. During this tutorial, we are going to channel our inner Van Gogh, or Van Gogh in Dutch. I will guide you through all the steps of creating this Starry Night inspired painting. We'll be using these special painterly brushes, which you can get for free through freefromflow.com. There, you won't just find a whole lot of brushes, but also my ebook about color theory. Once you have reached the end of this tutorial, once you have your own Starry Night, you will feel so proud that you'll just want to share your work. If you are doing that, and you are sharing your work through Instagram, then don't forget to tag me in the image, not just in the description, because that way I will be able to find your work and maybe we will see your work in the next video. Just like these amazing results from my friends at Patreon. That's where you need to go if you want to level up your Procreate skills, or if you want to develop that inner Van Gogh even more, because I have shared another Van Gogh inspired tutorial there in which we create these lovely sunflowers. But now let's get started with this tutorial. The canvas is 3000 by 2000 pixels. Color profile is set to sRGB, and you can find the color palette linked in the description of this video. So go ahead, grab your pencil or your finger and let's get started. The first thing we'll do is grab a special brush from the treasure chest brush pack. We will start with the round smeary brush. It's a super smeary brush and it has a nice canvas texture, and we are going to use it as a base for our painting. Let's go to the color palette and let's just grab this third blue color in the first row of the color palette. The opacity of this brush is set to 100% and I have the size set to 70%, and we are just going to make an underpainting. We're going to go across the canvas, and every time you lift your pen from your screen, you will get new paint. So if you stay on the canvas, it'll be a little bit more transparent, but when you lift it again, you'll get new blue paint. And we will just cover our canvas with this nice blue, and we'll think about the shapes that we are going to put on here. On the underside of our canvas, that's where the water will be, and in the sky we'll have our moon and some cloud shapes. And we will put those down on our canvas so that we will have a base to work from. Let's go and grab a different color. We'll grab this lighter blue. It's the fifth color in the first row. And over here, that's where our moon will be. So let's make a circle here. Now let's make our brush a little bit smaller. Let's go for 40%. And we'll make these swirls coming from up here. And we'll have a swirl here. And that'll swirl to this area. So first it'll swirl like this. And we'll have a smaller swirl here. And let's also add some lighter blue here. Make rounded motions. We want the entire canvas to be covered with nice colors, a nice color variation. So some over here. I'm using very light pressure. Over here. Follow that shape of that swirl. Over here we'll have a small star, so make a small circle here. And over here as well. Now let's make the brush even smaller. Let's go for 18% and let's grab a darker color. Let's grab this one over here, the second color in the first row. And then we'll make these little hills over here towards the center. So here, that underside, that'll be the water, and here we have that little hill that's separating the water from the sky. Another one over here, rounded shape, then move to the right. Let's make the brush even smaller, 6%. All the way to the other side. So now we have a nice painterly hill shape. I'll make the brush a little bit bigger again. Let's go for 18%. And let's drop in some more color. Let's drop in some yellow, that second color in the second row. Let's add in some yellow for our moon over here. Just some rounded motions, nice and painterly. And here on top of the hills, I also want some yellow, so we'll just follow that shape of the hill and put some yellow on top. Over here as well, we'll just follow that entire shape. And it'll also reflect on the water here, so we'll add some yellow here too. All the way to the left side. And it's nicely smearing the paint around, mixing it a little bit. Let's make a reflection of that sun over here. And let's put a little yellow circle over here and over here for these stars. And these will also reflect on the water, so let's drop in some yellow here and over here. And now for some lighter blue, let's grab this one, that fifth color in the first row. And let's go over the swirl, defining that a little bit more. So it'll be a swirly shape like this, and then it'll swirl to the right. And we can add some more light blue around our moon here. Just make sure that you make these rounded motions. And don't be afraid to let your brush strokes show. Let's also add some light blue here on the water. And over here, it's that swirl in the sky that's reflecting on the water. Now let's cover this area a little bit. I still see some white. Let's just cover that with paint. Now that we have the simple base, we can get started adding all the small brush strokes. That will really give this painting that Van Gogh feel. Now to make all those strokes, we are going to use the opaque thin brush. It's also part of the treasure chest brush pack. It's totally free, so just go to Free From Flow if you haven't already. And for this brush, I have the opacity set to 64%, and the size is at, well, let's set that to 30%. And we are going to start filling our painting with loads of brush strokes. And what's most important is to follow the flows of the painting. You know, just always follow flow. This is actually also a great reminder to hit that like button and that subscribe button if you haven't already. It'll really help you improve your painting skills. So now let's first grab a color. Let's grab this third color in the first row, a nice dark blue. And let's just warm up. Let's start over here and make these strokes following that flow of that swirl. We'll go in that same direction. So it's a bit curved. And we'll want loads of brush strokes in our painting. So it's quite some work, but it's also actually really relaxing because you don't have to give it a lot of thought. So follow that swirl here, going downwards. And you can switch up the direction of your strokes. So for one stroke, you can go down and then up. As long as you follow that flow. Here we are going past that star. And here we need to follow that moon that we have here. Can't really see the strokes over here since it's pretty dark. Doing great so far. Let's add more strokes over here. I'll put that away. My little Apple Pencil stand is standing in the way. So let's go over here, make more brush strokes and follow that roundness of our moon area. Just rounded strokes, make them nice and short. And after a while, you'll get the hang of these strokes and you'll go faster and faster. That's my experience in any case. We also want some dark blue strokes over here. We'll be painting over them with the lighter yellow later, but it's nice to have some blue that will shine through. It's really about layering all these colors on top of each other. Over here again, we'll follow that flow of the swirl. Let's also go over the swirl a bit. And here inside of the swirl, follow that shape. It's like a little whirlpool over here. Try to vary your strokes a bit, so go from left to right and right to left so that they don't all look the same. Over here we'll go behind, well, not really behind, but we'll go past that star. You don't have to wrap your strokes around it there. Now let's switch to a lighter blue. Let's grab this one, the fifth color in the first row. And let's also add some strokes here. Just a few light blue strokes. And then for our swirl, we'll make our swirl a little bit broader here. Just follow that shape that we have already created earlier with our smeary brush. And make a bunch of strokes on top of it. And around our moon over here. And we can add some in the sky over here. It's really all about adding loads of variation, loads of brush strokes. Now let's switch to this color, the fourth color in the first row. Now let's go along our moon, adding some more of this dark blue. And you can switch back and forth between colors. Just make sure that you add loads of variation. We'll go along the swirl. And make these short and sweet strokes. Now let's go ahead and add some yellow in the mix. Let's grab this color over here, second color in the second row. And let's start adding some yellow. Let's make our brush a little bit smaller actually. Let's go for 13%. Make sure to follow that shape, that circular shape. Making these rounded motions. Over here, Again, follow that circle. So we'll make these little rounded motions. And we'll do the same over here for this little star. And let's also add some strokes to our swirl over here. And some over here, following that flow. And some over here. Again, imagine that swirl. And then place those strokes along that imaginary line. Now let's draw our moon, our crescent moon. We'll grab this color, that first color in the second row, and then we'll make a semicircle here. To draw our moon, a smaller semicircle inside. Until you get a nice moon shape here. And it doesn't have to be super tidy. It's okay if it's a bit messy. That's part of the style. And then we can add some lighter yellow, that second color in the second row. And we'll put a little bit of that on top, on the left side of the moon. Just make sure that you see those brush strokes. Make it nice and painterly. Then let's go on the inside here. We need some more light there. Make these rounded strokes. And now that we have this, it's time to grab that lighter yellow, that third color in the second row. And now let's go along and add these lighter strokes on top. Just make sure that you keep some space in between the strokes. Make the brush a little bit bigger, 22%. Just go along the outside. And make a variety of strokes. Want some lighter strokes here as well to nicely make that moon stand out. Just keep some gaps so you can also see that paint that is underneath. Otherwise, you might just as well grab a big brush and paint over it. You want that a nice layered effect. And as you move towards the outside, try to keep more space between these light strokes. Give them a little bit more space. Let's also add some light over here and some brush strokes around it. And over here as well, we need that to be lighter as well. Imagine that circle and place those strokes on that circle. Now let's also add some of these lighter strokes in this area, right near that horizon. Follow that shape. Now what we can do is go to the smudge tool and set that to that smeary brush, that round smeary brush. That way, if we use the smudge tool with this brush, when you smudge, you keep that canvas texture. I have this brush set to 74% opacity and the size is at 10%. And what you can do now is go over some of the strokes where you feel like it might be a bit too prominent. You can just follow that flow again. Follow that shape, that roundness here, and smudge your strokes a little bit. But not too much. I'm really using very light pressure. I'm not going to smudge the moon itself. But you can mix the colors a bit this way. And it's really needed to use that round smeary brush, because if you would use an airbrush, for example, then you would make everything super soft and you would lose that canvas texture. We'll just follow that swirl here. Just blend some areas. We don't want to lose all the brush strokes, but we do want to merge a few areas because we are going to create another layer of brush strokes on top of this. You can smudge this area a little bit. Just make short strokes with your smudge brush. Because if you would make long ones, then it would just look messy. So short strokes, just merging it a little bit. Now let's go ahead and add even more brush strokes, but to give our strokes more color variation, we are going to change the brush a little bit. Just tap the opaque thin brush and go to color dynamics. And over here for stroke jitter, turn up the hue. Let's turn it to 7%, and we'll also turn up the darkness. Now this is going to vary the hue, so that's the color, and the darkness of the color for every stroke. So every time we make a stroke, it'll change a bit. That way you can stay inside a certain range of colors, but still have a slight variation. And I think that's perfect for this type of painting. Let's tap done. And now let's grab a blue. Let's grab this one, that fourth color and the first row. And let's just go over some areas, adding more varied brush strokes. And just keep in mind to follow that flow. And you can see that sometimes the brush strokes will be a bit lighter and sometimes they will be darker. Every time you make a stroke, it's a little surprise. Now, in my new updated Painterly brush pack, I have a bunch of impressionistic brushes actually that do these types of things with just a single stroke. So be sure to check that out if you enjoy creating these painterly artworks. So now we are getting a nice variation here in color. Let's also do that for the lighter blue. Let's grab this one over here, the fifth color in the first row, and let's go over our swirl and the sky again. Follow that shape. I think I actually want to go for the lighter blue even. Let's go for the sixth color in the first row. Let's go along that edge of our swirl. As you can see, you get a nice variation of those colors. Just continue filling that swirl with these brush strokes. Imagine that swirl here and following that round shape. You can go upwards a little bit here, make it a little bit bigger. And then let's add a few of those light blue strokes around our moon area here. Some strokes over here. We want some more brushiness here. And some here. All right, then for some more yellow, let's grab that second color in the second row and let's add more yellow over here. We want that yellow to nicely contrast with that blue. That's the appeal of this painting of Starry Night. Well, this is not exactly Starry Night by Van Gogh, but it's inspired by it. But really the great appeal is that nice contrast between the blue and the warm yellow orangey colors. Blue and orange are actually complementary colors. They are opposite of each other on the color wheel. That's what creates that appeal. If you want to learn more about color contrast, about complementary color, and how you can work with color in your paintings, then again, go to Free From Flow because I have a free ebook about color theory. And you will be a master of color in no time. Just adding some yellow over here in our swirl for that contrast to lure our viewers in, to make them fall in love with our painting here. They can't resist to look at that contrast between blue and yellow and orange. I think our sky looks pretty fantastic. Let's move on to the lower side of our canvas. Let's grab this dark color, that first color in the first row, and let's add some strokes on this hill here. Just some rough strokes. They are in darkness. So some rough strokes covering that area, giving it that impressionistic feel. You might have noticed my little extra decoration here on the left side of my iPad. I thought perhaps the AirPods wouldn't be a very appropriate decoration for a Van Gogh style painting tutorial. So I just scrabbled some letters. I thought it would be a nice touch. All right, let's add some dark strokes here as well. Just a few. We're going to add some texture, some brush strokes to the water, and we are going to make these horizontal strokes only because it's water, it's a flat surface, it's not swirly like the sky and the clouds. So we are going to focus on making these horizontal strokes only. Just a few over here. And now let's also grab this yellow first color in the second row and let's work on some reflection. So short strokes, a few over here. And we don't have to make a perfect reflection. We're just and just roughly make this reflection. It's an impressionistic painting, so you don't have to give it too much thought. Just go with your feeling. Do whatever you like. It's really liberating creating something like this. And it can be really therapeutic to just focus on these brush strokes from left to right, right to left. And once you do this for a while, you get the hang of it, of this motion from left to right and right to left, making these short strokes. Let's grab this color over here, 5th color in the first row, and continue with our short strokes mission. But it's just a movement, a flick of the hand that you will get a hang of. But of course you can also just go slower. You don't have to be this fast. Just enjoy making these strokes and bringing your Van Gogh painting to life. Some light strokes over here. It's that swirl up there reflecting on the water, so let's make it a bit lighter over here. And also for some darker blue, let's grab this one, the 3rd color and the 1st row. And let's add some more blue here near that hill. It's almost hypnotizing making these brush strokes. On this side, don't forget here, let's add some dark blue underneath that hill. And we're almost there. We'll just do a little final tweak after we have created all of these strokes. And let me know in the comments what you think of this type of style of impressionistic painting. Perhaps you know of another artist, another style that you would like to see in a tutorial. And then perhaps I can see what I can do. Just a little bit more of this light yellow, 3rd color, 2nd row. I want a little bit over here. Just these horizontal strokes. Let's also add a few up here. And then finally, I want to push back that water a little bit. It's a bit too bright compared to our sky. And that's pretty easy actually. We're just going to add a new layer. By the way, congratulations, you managed to make an entire painting on just one layer. We'll just add a new one for a little tweak. Tap the plus, set this layer to multiply. You need to tap the N and then scroll up to multiply. Multiply is a great layer blending mode if you want to darken areas without losing texture. We don't want to lose our brush strokes. We want to keep them visible, and that's why multiply is so great. Now what we are going to do is grab a different brush. We'll grab the soft airbrush under airbrushing, the soft brush. And for the color, we'll use this 4th color in the 1st row. The opacity of this brush is at 60%. Now let's set the size to 8%. And let's go over the water area. Let's just completely fill it until it's nice and dark. And then you can go back to the layer, tap the M, and turn down the opacity. Let's set it to 40%. And that's it. You have created a Van Gogh style painting in Procreate. Let me put this back. And let me thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed painting in this style. And now that you have finished this tutorial, why not make it a streak? Go ahead, make more tutorials like this one. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up. Thank you for being such a wonderful support to this channel. And I will see you next time for the next tutorial.